Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Skyman TV, the tallest man in Black Africa. Among the many laws, many commandments in politics, the greatest commandment in politics is that never have permanent friends and permanent enemies, but always have permanent interests. That is the greatest commandment in politics. And yesterday, when William Ruto stepped out of the State House and Raila-Ruto stepped forward to address the nation, I realized that this commandment is very, very relevant to our situation today. For those of you who have been following the politics of this nation, jambo moja ni wazi kwamba William Ruto and Raila-Ruto could not see eye to eye. But when you look and listen and you watch them addressing the nation, you realize that these are guys who had met. And for the last more than 50 years, William Ruto missed the church. And this was very unlikely. And when he was doing this, Raila-Gachie, who is the kingmaker, together with Ndindi Nyoro and Kimani Ichung'wah, were busy criticizing and abusing Raila-Ruto. Something curious that Gachagua had ruled out any discussion, any dialogue with Raila-Ruto. And the funny thing, he was saying that, remember what he was saying, that yale mazungumzo tunaweza kuwa na Raila ni vile atapumzika kutoka siasa, the way he is going to retire. Little did he know that his boss actually needs Raila more than he needs the Kenya Kwanza, kina Mudavadi, kina Ndindi Nyoro, kina Ichung'wah. Indeed, William Ruto than he needs excuse for him to continue governing peacefully. Again, something else that these guys did not realize is that William Ruto seems to have no problem with Raila-Ruto, and he seems to have no problem with the dialogue, because that is what Azimio has always been talking about. And even that issue of the servers, I believe these two gentlemen are going to sit down and have dialogue on the same. And I believe before they came with the presser, what there is that after they had met, they must have agreed on a number of issues. And it is very clear that Gachagua and his militant guys were nowhere to be seen. Because what you have seen is that the militant guys in Kenya Kwanza, who christened themselves as Mau Mau guys, vijana wa Mau Mau, waliachwa kabisa. They were left on the eggs, with eggs on their faces, which is embarrassing in my view. And this one clearly shows that William Ruto is a very tactical guy. He's a shrewd politician, all said and done. Because when his soldiers were busy fighting and abusing people right, left, and center, he was very busy and he knew what should be done for this great nation. And for sure, if I were Rigathi Gachagua and Ndindi Nyoro and Kimani Ichung'wah, I would take time to respond to national issues. I would only concentrate with issues that matter for this great nation, because that is what they were being told by William Ruto's move. That is what they should learn. And unlike Raila-Ruto, who had informed Kalonzo Musyoka and others, William Ruto only consulted his inner circles. And it came very clearly that among the inner circles, there is nowhere that the Kiambu Mafia anywhere to be seen. They don't count much. That is the message that was coming out very, very clearly. Another role of power is that the kings will always destroy the kingmakers. Here, the kingmaker, I've said, is Gachagua. It is the Mount Kenya guys. And William Samoei Ruto must liberate himself from these guys. He must destroy them completely, politically speaking. And by going and working and having dialogue with Raila Amolo Odinga and Azimio, I can tell you that these guys are completely finished. They are completely finished. If you looked at Gachagua, he had a look that shocked many people. It was described by one guy in Twitter as the look of the year, because he could not believe what he was hearing coming from the president himself. He could not hear, he could not understand why Raila was being called a brother, why William Samoei Ruto came out in a very humble way. Indeed, one way of disarming your enemy or your opponent is to appear to be very humble, is to appear not to be very ridho. Sababu ukiangalia Gachagua vile ambavyo walikuwa wakiongea, kusema kweli, wao ndio ambao wanaonekana wakiwa baya. Wao ndio ambao wanaonekana kama the headliners that can destroy this nation. And I remember many people are saying that God forbid that wasijipate wakati mmoja hata siku moja Gachagua akiwa rais wa nchi hii. I don't know what you think, because I believe when you listen to his vitriol, the way he vomits dangerous words and cold words that do not befit the deputy president, wakati ambapo anaongea, basi ni mtu ambaye analeta mgawanyiko mkubwa sana katika nchi hii. And I believe even William Samoei Ruto can sponsor an impeachment motion against Rigathi Gachagua. Politics is a very dirty game, by the way. Completely dirty, and anything can happen. So when Gachagua will be impeached, because in the fullness of time, the deputy president is likely to be impeached. And that is when Kindiki is likely to be nominated as the deputy president. Because we know that what happened is that Gachagua is the one who manipulated the president so that he could be made the running mate. You remember what he said when he realized that people are preferring Kindiki, and that is still the notion even today. Majority of Kenya Kwanza believe that Kindiki would have made a good deputy for William Samoei Ruto. And when I remember when he organized that security meeting and did not involve Kindiki, this brought a lot of differences in Kenya Kwanza. And William Samoei Ruto was watching it as a distance. And what is happening is that when you look at Gachagua, when you look at these Kiabu guys, Dede Nyoro and others, indeed wanajikaga kwa mafuta yao kama nguruwe. Wanapewa mafuta, wajikaage kama nguruwe, wajimalize na William Samoei Ruto. Because what is happening now, when you look at these guys, majority of Kenyans, especially other tribes, cannot trust them with the power, because they were drunk with raw power, completely mad with the power, and they were boiling with the power. And when you see these people being consumed by power, I don't know what, because if you ask me, kile ambacho kinajitokeza ni kwamba wanafanya watu wengine waogope kabisa, wanafanya watu wengine makabila mengine yaogope utawala watu kama hawa. And I believe William Samoei Ruto is very much aware of this. He is very sure, he is very much aware that these guys are on a self-destructive mission, such that anytime they start talking, nobody will take them seriously. And when you look at what came out yesterday, because dialogue is #1#